Alrighty, guys. Let's get back into this. It's a lot later than it normally is when I record. You can probably tell there's no light coming in through the window back there. But I felt like recording one. We read the tips last time. The damn sight murder. We're getting into it now. Alrighty, let's get back into this. Colonel Sanders.
そりゃあレナのツボだわな。
レナがサトコやリカちゃんをお持ち帰りしたくなるのはわかる。だが、ケンタ君人形だけは理解できないぞ。あんなメガネ親父
A very good question. I'm not sure what makes Colonel Sanders so cute for her.
そりゃあレナに直接聞けばいいじゃん。どうせ。だって可愛いんだもん。しか言わないだろうけどさ。
レナはよくあそこ工事現場のとこへ宝探しに行くのか?
Oh yeah, you can ask Mion about the construction site stuff too.
言ってましたです。
しかし年頃の女の子がゴミ漁りね。
レナが楽しいならいいんだと思いますです。
I mean, I guess it's a little bit dangerous and maybe illegal. But I guess it's illegal dumping. I wonder, because I'm pretty sure it's illegal to steal stuff from like an actual like junkyard. But is it illegal if you're taking stuff that was illegally dumped somewhere? I don't know.
あそこはなんだよ。ダムの工事現場だったのか?
Mm-hmm. Did I write that down? I'm sure I'll remember that. Yeah, I wrote down it's a dam. Okay. I didn't read that, my bad.
何年か前に中止になっちゃったけどね。
It had been bugging me since yesterday, like an itch I couldn't scratch.
みんなで力を合わせて戦いましたです。
Ah. Hearing an ominous word like fought come from Rika-chan's mouth startled me. Tatakai? Is that what she said? I'm curious.
みんなで力を合わせて戦いましたです。
Tatakai.
何しろとんでもない話だったんだよ。ひなみ沢が丸ごとダム湖に沈むことに一方
Would
的
be
になってさ。
sunk into the reservoir. Is that... There's no way they could ever do that, right? Does that ever actually happen? That they need to build a dam and there's just like a town in the way and they're just like, yeah, sorry, your town won't exist anymore? So, I'm only able to be here because the protest succeeded. That's crazy. There's no way that would ever happen in real life, right?
待たせちゃったかな。申し訳ありませんわね、ケイチさん。お化粧直しに時間をかけちゃいまして。
サトコ、便所には溜めてから行け。一気に出せて。
Thank
楽
you.
で早いぞ。
Thank you, Keiichi. Thank you.
花も恥じらう乙女になんて口の利き方。
A maiden of unparalleled beauty. Thank you. I guess. Sadaka, sure. Who was she calling a maiden? If Sadaka really was a maiden, she wouldn't have reacted like that. The usual hijinks ensued. Just gonna cut it short this time.
さてと、今日は快速に乗っ取り、部員の諸君に是非を問いたい。
Okay.
前原圭一君を新たな部員として我らの部活動に加えたいのだ
I'm
が、
predicting
い
a
かがだろうか。
unanimous vote in agreement.
レナは異議なし。
That laugh.
貧民風情が私の相手を務められるかしら。
Love the way she
僕
talks.
もサトコも賛成しますですよ。
The way Rika talks and the way Sadaka talks is just great. The three that Mion had queried voiced their approval.
全会一致。おめでとう、
Let's go.
前原圭一君。君に栄えある我が部への入部試験を許可する。
The entrance exam. Uh-oh.
俺はまだ入るとは言ってないぞ。何の部活だ?
我が部はだな。複雑化する社会に対応するため、活動ごとに提案
What
さ
does
れ
that
る
mean?
様々な条件か。
Literally, in order to cope with our complicated society, like,
時には準教、あるいは逆境からいかにして。
that really does not explain much at all.
レナは弱いからいじめないでほしいな。仲良くやろうね。
Okay.
レナさんは甘えてますわ。弱い者は食い尽くされるのが世の常なのでございますわよ。
This was starting to sound a bit sketchy. So what kind of club was it? Yeah, yeah. Mion's answer didn't really help.
つまりみんなでゲーム
Oh,
し
okay.
て遊ぶ部活なのです。
Thank you, Rika. Rika-chan was the only one to answer my question with a pertinent response. So basically, this club put Mion's hobby of collecting games to a use. Oh yeah, I forgot about that, how she collects a bunch of board games and stuff. By playing the various games that Mion had hoarded every day. It seemed that, depending on the day, there were prizes for the winner or a penalty for the person who finished in last place.
先に断っとくけど、ままごと遊びみたいなレベルじゃないからね。一生一
It's very
生
serious.
命がかかってるくらい本気でかかった方がいいよ。
楽しくやれればいいじゃないか。そう凄むなよ。
The fun is the competition, Keiichi. Come on.
快速第一条。狙うのは1位のみ。遊びだからなんていういい加減なプレーは許さない。快速第2条。そのためにはあらゆる努力
Can we get a list of the
を
rules?
続けられておりますのよ。
The way Sadako said it, it sounded like she was saying, use any means necessary.
もちろん僕も頑張りますです。レナも弱いけどね。
Stop saying that, Rena. I bet Rena's gonna be like the best or something. I knew what they were trying to say. In a game where everybody is aiming for the top, it's rather unsportsmanlike to play just for fun.
よし、俺も本気でやってやるぜ。
He's gonna get destroyed. With that, I was finally ready for the rite of initiation, my baptism into the club.
ケイちゃんに一応忠告ね。レナも結構えげつないからね。
I bet she can. I bet she's terrifying. This initiation looks like it's going to be rough. Mion began fishing around in the student lockers in the back of the room. They have the games here at the school? Well, it's club equipment, so I guess that's fine.
難しいゲームはケイちゃんだけに不利だからね。今日は誰にでもわかるゲームにしよう。スタンダードにトランプのジジ抜きはどう？
No idea what that is.
よし、受けてやるぜ。
やっぱり罰ゲームがないと燃えないよね。今回はビリに顔面落書き。
That's not that bad.
どう？油性じゃないよね。油性じゃないよね。
Permanent. She wants to draw on our faces with permanent marker. That's fine. Better than life or death. Sadako cheered the idea on. She didn't even flinch at the thought of having such a severe penalty. It seemed like she was raring to go. If it's going to be like this, then I can't lose either.
じゃあカード切って。
Alright, we're just getting into it. Old Bachelor is pretty much the same as Old Maid. I don't know what that is either. There's only one difference, there's no Joker. In its place, one card is pulled out at the start, meaning there will be one card without a match left over at the end. You don't know which card will end up being the Joker. It's a pretty thrilling game. I'll take your word for it.
1枚抜くね。
Got a new jam here. Mion took out one card and left it face down on the table. Everybody stared at the card intently.
ま、終盤になればおのずとわかるし、最初はどうしようもないよな。
But the rest of them were very serious. They didn't seem as relaxed as I was. They compared their cards to the one face down, all the while gauging each other's reactions. God, I can't read. It was as if they could see what the face down card was. No, it couldn't be.
このトランプ、結構傷物だろ。まさかみんなには。
Oh no, because they do this every day, all the time, and they use the same deck of cards. Oh no. Yeah, wait, okay, so it's over for him. Well, unlucky.
いくつかのカードは特徴的だから、ケイチ君にもすぐ覚えられるよ。
She said that so matter-of-factly.
上等だぜ。
Yeah, good luck, man. I don't know.
この程度でハンデになると思うなよ。
I lashed out angrily, but it was rather obvious I was at a disadvantage. After all, they had gone so far as to memorize the wear and tear for each individual card. This wasn't a simple game of Old Bachelor. If this was a test, then they were playing with the answer sheet right in front of them. Bring it. I'll take advantage of your carelessness and beat you at your own game. Yeah, good luck. The baseless confidence would soon be crushed.
ケイちゃんの手札を右から言うぜ。
Oh no.
3、4、9、ジャック、クイーン。
ちなみにジジはダイヤの J なのです。
He's screwed. What's he gonna do?
どうカードを入れ替えたって見え見えですわ。上がりですな。
I thought I was prepared, but for it to be this brutal, just overwhelming.
鬼だ。こいつらは鬼だ。レナは鬼じゃないよな。
Surely not.
ごめんねケイイチくん。こっちがハートの3だよね。あー、
Not even a hint of mercy. Rena, even Rika-chan. These club activities weren't to be trifled with. An alumni of this club would definitely survive in the cruelest of situations. If our entire class had self-detonating collars strapped to their necks and were dropped into a death match on a deserted island, these guys would probably take to it like fish to water. It's a very, I mean, is that a that has to be a reference to something. Because it's a very specific hypothetical. I can already picture their joy as they hunt down each of their classmates. Okay, if you say so.
ポイントは減点制ね。着順がそのままマイナス点。トータルで一番少ない人が優勝。
I guess they play multiple rounds.
ではケイイチはビリなので5です。
Ah, there's already a 5 marked down on my scoreboard.
やっぱりさ、綺麗なトランプでやらないとケイイチくんに不公平だよ。
いいのいいの。ケイちゃんだって男だし。
Yeah, surely he can win.
これくらいの逆境は跳ね返せるよね。
貧民風情は逃げ返して
A
涙で
lowly
枕を
peasant.
濡らすのがお似合いでございますことよ。
A petite hand laid itself on top of my head, which was trembling from uncontainable frustration. It was Rika-chan's.
ファイトおーです。
Thanks to Rika-chan's words of encouragement, I was able to calm down. You need to be calm, especially when you're cornered. That's the power I could muster during this crisis. Think clearly, Keiichi Maibara. Take your time and look at the cards carefully. It's just as Rena said, several of the cards have their own distinct markings, making them stand out. Memorizing them should be pretty simple. Think about what you can do in this situation. Try everything in your power to improve your chances of victory.
うわ、うまいよケイイチくん。その調子。
I covered the uniquely marked cards with my hands or other cards, arranging them in such a way that they couldn't be seen. Yeah, I guess you can do that. I mean, you could just like hide your hand with your other hand, right? So at least, I mean, I still don't understand how this game works exactly, so I don't know how much of an advantage other players knowing your hand is, but
角が割れているのは5だったはずです。上がりましたです。
I couldn't let any of those precious hints slip by me. I was trying to learn it on the fly. All information is a weapon. Then it was my turn. Satoko fanned out her cards for me.
欲しいのは7なんだが、これかな。
さてどうかしら。聞いてみないとわかりませんことよ。
I don't think she has a very good poker face. There is a bit of a dismay in her expression, like she doesn't want to take it. That kind of expression. I won't let that momentary lapse slip by me.
見えた。これだ。
Let's go. Got it. 7 of spades. A cheer of ooh rang out.
なんですって7は一番わかりにくいはずですのに。
It wasn't from memorizing the markings. Those slight changes in their expressions as I was selecting a card were enough.
ほらケイちゃん隠さない。この傷が確かダイヤの2だったよね。あれ
She was startled by her own misread. Of course, everyone else was too.
あ、みーちゃんがカード間違えるなんて珍しいね。
I wonder how long they've had this deck, how long they've been memorizing the cards for.
違う。ケイちゃん、あんたまさか。
They told them apart by different marks. That mark was a nail scratch. So I put, oh, he scratched it himself to make new marks. A new one on it, yeah.
ダイヤの2を偽装したというですの？あんな真似をするでございますわ。圭一、一矢報いましたです。
Clap, clap, clap.
やったね、圭一くん。大戦線だよ。
Having defeated the Forerunner, Mion, with my brilliant battle left me ecstatic. Wait, no. Having defeated the Forerunner, Mion, my brilliant battle left me ecstatic. It's a weird sentence structure. I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb. But by total points, it was already set in stone that Mion would win and I would finish last. I laughed haughtily, selecting the tone of my voice carefully to get on Mion's nerves.
まあビリは確定だけどさ。最低。
That should be the proverbial slap in the face to Mion, who is at the top already and ensured victory.
この回、仮にケイちゃんが1着になってもトータルビリが確定するんだけど。
当たり前だ。
一騎打ちしようよ。ワンチャンス。勝てたらケイちゃん1位で私
Oh,
に
why
大
would
逆
she?
転。
Why would she agree to that?
乗るでしょ？
She fell for it. A chance for an upset that wouldn't be possible without goading her into it. I guess it was real easy. She just fell for it immediately.
ルールを説明しろ。
I mean, I guess she didn't fall for it. She just accepted it. I guess she's just that confident, you know? Mion discarded 2 cards from her hand and replaced one with the Joker card that was on the table, then shuffled the resulting hand behind her back.
右手のカードと左手のカード。どっちがジョーカーか当てたらケイちゃんの勝ち。
Okay.
今後ろに回した時ジョーカーを抜いたってことは
Yeah, so I was gonna say, how do we know she's not just cheating?
ケイちゃんが負けたら反対の手のカードも公開するよ。それなら OK でしょ。
Well, he didn't know what the Joker was, though. The other 3 gulped nervously at this unexpected turn of events.
よし乗ってやる。
Mion grasped 1 card in each hand and thrust them out at me. First, I needed to inspect them closely. The card on the right had no distinguishing marks. I couldn't tell which one it was.
どっちだろう。圭一くん、慎重にね。
ああもちろんだぜ。逆転の大チャンスだ。
Good luck. Looking closely at the card on the left, I saw a little wear. It wasn't one I hadn't seen before.
あのカードは。
I didn't let that bit from Sadako slip by me. Mion clicked her tongue. I didn't recognize the mark on the left card from the small number that I had memorized. I didn't know what the left card was, but I could tell from Sadako's reaction that the card had already appeared during the game. Since it had already appeared before, it meant that it definitely wasn't the Joker.
ケイちゃんは右のカードを疑ってる。じゃあ右にする？右？
There has to be some trick here. The left card definitely wasn't the Joker. If I could trust that theory, then I should have been able to declare that the card to the right was the Joker. We're really getting into this. Even without Mion's taunting, the one on the right was the most suspicious. But wasn't it a bit too rash to decide based solely on Sadako's reaction? More. Carefully. Ah, I remember now. That mark, the left card, no doubt about it. The 7 of clubs.
うん。きっとクローバーの7だね。
I've won. The card on the left was the 7 of clubs. So that meant the card on the right was the Joker. I guess. And then, just before my hand touched the right card, I froze. We're getting a whole, structure of this set up for us.
さすがミオンだよ。
There was a wave of murmurs amongst the onlookers at my sudden halt, right before I confirmed the right card was the Joker.
ケイチさんは何を言ってるのでございましょう。だって左。C です。
へえ。ケイちゃんはどうして右がジョーカーじゃないって確信できるの？
Oh, my bad. Mion let loose an unexpected question. Everyone else was baffled.
右のカードが何かは俺にもわからないさ。だが、左のカー
God, the
ド
music's so
がク
good.
ローバーの7だってことだけはわかる。
Okay.
じゃあ残る右のカードがジョーカーなのじゃありませんこと？
Mm-hmm.
必ず左右どっちかがジョーカーという約束でしょ？
ああ、左右のどっちかにジョーカーがあるのは本当だろう。
That has been established, yes.
圭一は勘がいいです。リカちゃん、それってどういう。
つまりさ、クローバーの7はさっき俺がサトコのスペードの7と合わせて捨てたカードなんだよ。
Everyone's attention snapped to the discard pile at the same time. The truth of the matter couldn't be discerned from that sloppy pile.
つまりミオンは捨て札を1枚拾って左のカードに重ねている。
Okay.
つまり
So she was relying on you knowing? No. Well, that's why would she? Okay. So she has one card. So she has the Joker in one hand. She has the card in the other hand that she put another card on top of. No. So she put the card that she thinks. Whatever.
左のカードをクローバーの7に見せかけているんだね。
To make him think that card is the Seven of Clubs. Except it's actually the Joker. So she's relying on him knowing that that's the Seven of Clubs. Okay, from earlier. Alright. It was the first time since the start of the match that a shadow ran across Mion's expression, and I didn't let that slip by. Then, with a grand flourish, I declared it loudly.
ジョーカーは左手だ。
Let's see. It was an intense moment. That 1 second felt like an eternity for everyone there. Breaking that silence, the first one to speak was Mio.
初代部長として私もさまざまなプレイングを見てきたけど、ケイちゃん、あんたはベストだよ。
Did he do it?
ベストオブザベストオブザベスト。
That was probably the greatest compliment Mion could give. Mion accepted her defeat, dropping the cards from both hands. Let's go! My comeback victory! Rika-chan placed her hand on my head and began petting it, congratulating me on my victory.
リカちゃんか。
Rena and Sadako gaped at us, as if they had seen a ghost.
なんだよレナ。別に俺はインチキしてないだろ。先生堂々と。
リカは慰めるときにしか頭を撫でませんの。
Huh? What's the meaning of... Did he just overthink it? Did he just think to, like... Oh no. At that moment, Rena let out a small shriek.
ケイイチ君、こんなことって。
Oh
ケイちゃん
no.
ならさ、ここまで読んでくれる。
Oh no, no, okay. He didn't overthink it. Mion thought he was gonna think that. So then she just didn't actually... Okay, that's great. That's awesome. Everyone froze. No, it was just me.
賭けだった。ケイちゃんがおてんばさんの早とちりだったなら、負けてたのは私だった。
It was the answer everyone was certain about. Mion picked up the card from the losing
ケイ
hand.
ちゃんはさ、
I mean, that's like...
この負けを誇っていい。
It's what, like 3 levels of overthinking it, you know? Because if she just had the 7 of clubs and the Joker, she would be relying on him not being able to tell the cards apart, right? But she knew, or she thought, that he would be able to tell what the 7 of clubs was. So she could have just put that over the Joker, so then he wouldn't pick that one and pick the other one. But she thought that he would think that she had... But no, she was relying on him realizing that. Okay, alright. She turned it around. That was the card that proclaimed the victor of this duel. The card under the 7 of clubs. Unbelievable. It was the 2 of diamonds. It was a setup behind the setup. It was a setup, yeah. If I just picked the right one without reading so deeply into it.
部長、園崎美音の名において、前原圭一、あんたの我が部への入部を許可する。
Alright, he passed the test. He gets his face drawn on now. As I slumped to my knees, dazed, everybody let out a round of applause for the excellent effort I gave despite my defeat.
これにて決着。本日の優勝は私、園崎美音。栄えあるビリは
Our exalted
前
loser.
原圭一。
Everyone made a commotion, applauding cheerfully. Awesome. I felt I was bested, but I was so soundly beaten that it unexpectedly felt rather refreshing.
みーちゃんが後ろ手で細工した時、またやるんだって思ってドキドキしち
She
ゃった。
done this before?
ケイイチさんが正解に触れる直前で止まった時にはかかった
I
って
don't
思い
believe.
ましたわ。
Based off Sadako's reactions, I don't believe her. I don't think she had any idea.
見事に引っかかってくれましたです。
Huh? Hey, wait. All of them knew from the start and still got so excited so earnestly?
楽しくなるようにみんなで盛り上げましたですよ。
You.
お前らみんな鬼だ人手なし
さてケイちゃんに罰ゲームだね。今日は部活の初日だしね。ソフトに行こうかね。いきなり登校拒否になられちゃ困るし。
The other three members held down my arms and shoulders firmly. Mion approached, licking her lips. Her right hand went to pull something out of her pocket. That's a felt-tip marker, and it's a giant permanent one.
さて行くよ。
She took the cap off the marker and brought it slowly up to my face while I was immobilized.
いややめろ
That was great. I let out my death throes. Rip. Rest in peace. That was fun. That was a fun scene. I feel like I didn't have much to say for a lot of it, but I don't know. It was good. I liked it. Time to head home, I'm guessing. Are we gonna help Rena with getting the doll out? As soon as the club activities were finished, Rena flew off. Yeah, gotta go get it fast. Probably so she could dig out that cute Colonel Sanders doll that she wasn't able to take home yesterday. So today it was just Mion and me walking home together, a rather rare occurrence.
宝の山か。捨ててる連中もまさかレナに感謝されてるとは夢にも思わないだろうね。
Mountain of treasure, meaning that damn construction site from before. Oh, right. Mion would probably tell me. Gonna ask her about it. That murder by dismemberment that seemed to have happened there.
あそこさダムの工事現場
It makes me wonder, so, like, the tips that we got with, like, the newspaper, Keiichi hasn't seen that, right? Has he?
なんかあったんだろ昔
It's a very vague way to phrase it.
そりゃあったよ、戦いが。
Tatakai.
座り込みやったりデモをやったり。
It was a bit different from what I wanted to hear, but I decided I'd listen just the same. What I'm interested by is this whole dam thing, making a dam that was gonna, you know, result in the entire town being, you know, sunk into the reservoir. That's like crazy, you know? And it makes me wonder if there was something more to it, because that just seems like something that normally would never happen, unless there's some reason they want to destroy Hinamizawa, right? There's no way that's like a commonplace thing for you to build a dam that's going to destroy an entire city or town. I mean, it's not a city. It just makes me wonder if there's something more. There's some reason they wanted to destroy Hinamizawa, that was the actual goal and it wasn't just to build the dam.
自分たちの土地がダム湖に沈むんだもんな
Yeah, it's
俺だって
crazy.
戦うだろうな
役人どもは本当に一方的だった。
The government guys.
偉そうで威張ってた。金で解決できないと悟ると、あらゆる嫌がらせをしてきたんだよ。いやらしい奴らだった。
Mion spoke excitedly, as if the whole thing was happening right in front of her. I guess, I mean, it happened 4 years ago. At least the murder happened 4 years ago. And I assume that signaled the end of the construction, right? So Mion's definitely old enough to have, you know, been around then.
よく勝てたな
Or, you know, they were all old enough, but I mean, like, Mion would have been, you know, she wouldn't have been like a 5-year-old or something, like Sadako and Rika.
村長や村の有力者たちがね、東京にも行ったし、いろんな政治家に根回しもした。
Dang.
そうしてるうちに計画は撤回されたんだよ。
What about the murder?
私たちの完全勝利だった。
暴力沙汰とかにはならなかったのか 傷害事件とか殺人。
なかった。
Nakata. I just don't. That wasn't as creepy as Rena's answer when she, the Shira and I. But I just don't. She promptly cut me off. Yeah, I mean, it's still.
なかった。
Because she's lying, right? We know she's lying based off the tip from that newspaper. It was publicized. It was obviously publicized. It was, a dismemberment murder. So I just wonder why she would lie about it? Because, yeah, we know that she's lying. She's not lying in as a creepy way as Rena did. And especially because we know Rena said she only moved here a year ago. But we know Mion was definitely around back then. It happened 4 years ago. The same as Rena had. Her words signaled the end of the discussion. Tomitake-san said one arm wasn't found in the incident. I thought that a murder by dismemberment had occurred, but I guess I was wrong. I guess. My curiosity unsated, I sighed dejectedly inside. Yeah, so I guess Keiichi hasn't seen that newspaper that we've seen. Because we know what's happened.
じゃあね。また明日ね。
Yeah, that's just such, no person would ever, Keiichi asks this, she says no, and then just end of discussion, later, see you tomorrow. That just doesn't, that would never happen. It's obvious that she's hiding it, right?
ケイちゃんそれ、うちに帰るまで消しちゃダメだからね。
That's permanent marker, so it'll be rough.
わかってるよ。消さねえよ。
Mion held back her laughter while stealing glances at my face. I wonder what kind of nasty doodles they drew. Damn you, Mion, you shall rue this day. If our rules are ever reversed, I'm going to go all out. All over your face so you won't be able to take it off, even with a scouring pad. Very interesting, this whole murder thing. Because we know, I mean, it's nothing crazy like Mion and Rena are the perpetrators of it, right? They can't be. So I'm curious what motivation they would have for wanting to hide it from Keiichi. Upon arriving home, I ran straight into my mom, embarrassing myself yet again. Especially when it was in newspapers and stuff. It's publicized. A bunch of people knew about it. Tomitake-san knew about it. I assume, most people know about it, What if Keiichi had known about it just from the newspaper, It's just weird that they would lie to him so blatantly, The mood I'd come home to was already on edge. It's not an uncommon thing in our family. Whenever Dad can't come up with a good idea, it always ends up like this. He stomps around the house with his arms crossed. Mom whispered into my ear.
おかえりケイチ。お父さん大変そうだからそっとしてあげてね。
I feel for him.
またアイデアに詰まったわけ？
It's rough.
今回は締め切りが重なったからね。
Ooh.
お父さん充電期間がないと大変だから。
Maybe not as much of a laid-back job as Keiichi was saying it was, huh? Dad's paintings feed our entire family. If he runs out of ideas, then it's the end of the Maibaras. We've never gone hungry before. Could it be that my dad is a master painter? Maybe. To be able to support your family off of it, that's very impressive.
家の中をうろうろしないで、表に散歩でも行った方がアイデアが出るんじゃねえの？
今回は生活空間がテーマだから。
It's a pretty vague theme.
お父さんこの家をモチーフにしたいみたい。
That's quite a bothersome motif, yeah.
家の中を少しは片付けなさい。
ごめん。後で片付けるよ。
Ah, come on. Please don't use my room as the motif.
ケイチ、お夕飯までまだ時間があるから、表でも散歩してらっしゃい。
Dad's moods are only temporary. As soon as he gets an idea, his mood improves and he starts humming. Until then, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just go take a walk so I don't aggravate him further. You gotta go help Rena.
そうするかな。
Oh, my back hurts. I said I was going to take a walk, but I didn't have any particular destination in mind. I just needed to kill some time. I got on my bike and pondered where to go. I could just go read at the bookstore, but it would take about an hour by bike to get to town. It would be dark by the time I got back, so I didn't want to go unless I had to. The roads at night here in Hinamizawa creep me out. If Mion or Satsuki ever found out about that, I smiled dryly. Oh yeah. Rena was probably still at the Mountain of Treasure, the dam construction site. The excavation of Colonel Sanders was probably taking her a while. It wouldn't be so bad to have her owe me one.
次の部活の時に恩返ししてもらえるかもしれないしな。
With a little bit of self-interest in mind, I set off towards the dam construction site. That's against the rules. Everyone has to try their hardest. Come on. Tomitake-san might be there as well. Well, maybe. The only person with information about the incident that both Rena and Mion denied knowing anything about. If I met him again, I'd like to ask for more details. To ask, was there really a dismemberment here in Hinamizawa? That was my real intention. Very pretty. I spotted Rena struggling up on the slope of the garbage pile. It looked like Colonel Sanders was lodged in there pretty firmly. It didn't look like Rena would be able to excavate him by herself. Realizing that Tomitake-san wasn't around, I began climbing down the slope unsteadily.
Yo, Rena, 精が出ますな。
Oh yeah, she just came here immediately after school. She's still in her uniform.
どうしたのこんなところへ。
What do you think? A place like this, huh? I see. She was aware of it at least.
事故発生の緊急通報を受け参上しました。負傷者はどこでありますか？
事故って
健太くん人形がゴミ山に生き埋めになっているとの通報でしたが。
Oh, he's here. Gotta rescue him.
なんだびっくりした。ケイチ君脅かさないでよ。
冗談だよ。レナが一人で困ってるだろうなって思ってさ。
She needs to get a grip, for real. She needs to calm down. Well, I filled my quota for today, thank you. If I don't see Rena blush at least once a day, then I'm not getting my daily required nutritional intake. It seems very easy to meet that quota, so...
冗談だよ。こっちまで恥ずかしくなるだろう。
冗談ってどこからだろうどこからだろう。
I just ignored her bewilderment. Honestly, it's probably just... The sooner you move off the topic, it's probably an act of mercy for her.
俺、どいたどいた。で、どこだよ、健太くんは。
あ、ごめん。ほら、この隙間から。
こりゃ本当に生き埋めだな。
The Colonel Sanders was sideways, surrounded by boards and other construction materials, like they were caging him inside. According to Rena, it wasn't like this yesterday. It seems as though another illegal dumper came yesterday, dumped again, and now he's buried like this. How often, with how few people are in Unamizawa, how are there that many people dumping here?
この山を一人でどけるつもりだったのか？その細い腕で。
There's no way she'd be able to do that with her slender arms. I'm sure Keiichi is big and strong and can do it.
人形可愛いんだもん。お店の健太君には鎖がついてるけど、これなら
What, she's tried to steal the one at the store? If Rena gave up on this Colonel Sanders, she'll probably start devising a plan to steal the one in front of the store. Okay. As Rena's guardian, I won't allow her to sully her hands with crime.
どいてろよ。俺がやる。
Rena blushed again, but this time I left it alone. The pile was enormous. Also, the more days we wasted, the more likely another illegal dumping would occur. Apparently it happens every single day. If it got buried any deeper, there would be nothing that could be done.
ケイチ君、レナも手伝えるよ。手伝わせて。
帰って邪魔になるから下がってろって。よいしょー。
Pulling out scraps, bending them, tossing them aside. I quickly became covered in sweat and dust. I'd have to get a tetanus shot after this. Flying objects drew beautiful arcs across the twilight sky, one after another. Lumber, timber, plywood. Damn it. No matter how much I threw out, there was still more. Even though I could see Colonel Sanders right there. After grandstanding like that in front of Rena, I felt frantic because of how little I had progressed. I have to cough.
本気でやるなら、斧とかノコギリとかがいるかもしれねえな。
一くん、すごい汗だよ。そんな無理しなくてもいい
He
よ。
has to do it. He has to do it for you.
レナのためにやってるだけだ。
Exactly.
気にするな。
Has a good sound effect. Rena began sputtering and turned beet red. Ah, whoops. I meant to say I was trying my best so as to keep her from becoming a criminal. Oh well.
さすがに。
Oh, they've been out here for a while, huh?
こいつは手強いぜ。
I sprawled on my back over the grassy slope.
ごめんね、すごい汗だく。
Rena patted her handkerchief against my forehead. It felt pretty nice.
あのさ、ちょっとここで休んでてね。私、家近いから麦茶とか持ってきてあげるね。
Sounds good. Leaving the handkerchief on my forehead, Rena took off running. The cries of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. After I was certain that Rena was gone, I picked myself up and headed towards what I'd discovered earlier. That was a garbage pile of magazines and newspapers bound up in twine. Unless I'm mistaken, I believe it was around here. There it was. There were bound stacks of not-so-reputable tabloids. They were stacked chronologically, going back quite a few years. Oh, it was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. So I guess he's gonna find the newspaper from the tip that we got. If it was just as Tomitake-san said, then undoubtedly there would be a mention of the murder. These are troubled times. There's no end to these sickening incidents. Is it gonna go back 4 years, though? There's a large part of society drawn in by these incidents as well. So it had to be recorded. Somewhere. Well, yeah, just like you were very interested by it. I unfastened the packages and opened the rain-soaked pages carefully, looking over the table of contents. Not here. Next one. Not here. Next one. It was hard to search since I didn't know when it happened. I didn't know who the perpetrator or the victim was either. I only knew it had happened here. I looked up every so often, checking to see if Rena had come back or not. It's just weird that he feels like he has to, like, hide this from Rena, you know? Because I guess she was so, she made it pretty clear she wasn't going to respond to him asking about it, I guess, so he just feels like he has to. I wouldn't want her to see me gawking at a dirty magazine, but it wasn't just that. Both Rena and Mion said they didn't know. But it had happened, without a doubt. How does he know what happened? Just because Tomitake... I mean, we know what's happened right now, because we've seen the newspaper already. Keiichi hasn't seen it yet. All he has to go off is what Tomitake-san said. As long as Tomitake-san was alive. I get that's a leap in logic. And then if both Rena and Mion... Ah, yeah, there was. If they had just said that, then I wouldn't have gotten so hung up on it, yeah. An incident that neither Rena nor Mion wished to talk about. Trying to uncover it after they tried to conceal it out of good intentions. That made me feel like I was acting against my friends. He is just kind of assuming they have good intentions. I mean, I guess I'm biased against them just because of how creepy Rena was when she said that she didn't know. Oh man. Hinamizawa dam worker lynching. Murder by dismemberment. Yeah. That's very... Man, the music, the sound cue along with the inverting the colors. Here it is. The featured article was in the back, and it seemed that there was a photograph in the colored pages at the front. The pages of the featured article were stuck together and weren't easy to open. Rena could return at any moment. Feeling rushed, I gave up and opened the photograph page. The police investigators were carrying a body bag, and newspaper reporters were all bathing it in camera flashes. The image was blurry and hard to understand, but I could definitely make out the headlines. A tragic nightmare at the Hinamizawa construction site. Lynching and murder/dismemberment. The victim was the site foreman. He had assaulted his assailants with an explosive backlash from his daily actions. Yeah. It's a horrible image to see the site foreman as it happened. It really did happen. It seemed the details were on the next page. I turned the page without pausing. On it was... The assailants butchered the victim... Then used an axe to split the cadaver into 6 pieces. The head, arms, legs, and torso. Let me read that again. The assailants butchered the victim's body with hatchets and pickaxes. Then used an axe to split the cadaver into 6 pieces. The head, arms, legs, and torso. Oh, man. That is, They said it was a dismemberment, yeah. I could understand just from the headline that it was just too terrible an incident. So they split it into 6 pieces. We know there were 6 people involved, and we know they haven't found one of the arms, is what Tomitake-san said. Normally a lynching is just assault and murder, right? This is a lot worse than that. Dismemberment with hatchets and pickaxes, that wasn't a lynching. It was a merciless killing to the letter, a brutal murder, done by a group of people, with hatchets, with pickaxes, with a hatchet. Rena's back. Rena dropped the hatchet she was holding onto the grass after being startled by my voice. It looked like a sword, not a hatchet. Rena fluttered her arms in a panic, continuing to explain and apologize. It seemed I'd been glaring at her pretty intensely. It was bad timing. It feels like it's like, based off that scene there, it's like the author's trying to make me think, oh, well, maybe I'm going too far with that. I don't know. It's like it's trying to bait me into thinking that it was the group, the club, that did this murder. Even though it's impossible. It has to be, it couldn't have been them, right? They couldn't have had anything to do with it. Because it was 4 years ago. We know they were arrested. They were all arrested other than one person. So it couldn't have been them. But it's just so weird that they've had this reaction, both Rena and Mion, to being questioned about it when we know what happened. It's so weird that they would not tell him about it. Because they're just risking. It's like, I'm knocking stuff off my desk again. It's like they're risking him. Because what if he did know about it? What if he called him out on it, you know? Like, what if right now he asked Mion why she didn't tell him about it? When he's like, oh yeah, I got this newspaper here. You know, it says that a dismemberment murder happened. Why did you say you didn't know? Well, I guess she has an excuse. Because Rena's excuse was she didn't know because she only moved here a year ago, which is very hard for me to believe. Mion has to be lying, guaranteed. Because she was here and she would know about it. I was pretty worn out, and it wouldn't hurt to do the rest tomorrow.
最後の針はそのナタじゃないと壊せそうにない。せっかく持ってきてくれたんだし、明日借りるよ。な。
何しょんぼりしてるんだよ。
I hope there's not another illegal dumping that covers it. I wonder if he's gonna ask her about it right now. We both knew that it was useless to apologize any more than that. I quenched my thirst with the barley tea Rena brought and wiped off the sweat that had now gone cold. We took the path to head home. I felt quite guilty about the tabloid paper wrapped up in my jacket. I see. Very interesting. Very interesting. Huh. Oh, and that's it. Got 2 more tips. Let's take a look at them. Let me save real quick, just in case. Okay. The Hinamizawa Dam Project. Very interested to hear about this. October 1975, so 8 years ago. In accordance with the Prime Minister's Bulletin Number, XXX, Hinamizawa's Electrical Development Master Plan was announced. The vast scope of the projected Hinamizawa Dam was to have an incredibly heavy impact on the village of Hinamizawa. No kidding. The area to be flooded by the Hinamizawa Dam would include the 5 areas of Hinamizawa, Takatsuro, Kiyatsu, Matsumoto, and Yagachi. The submerged area would include 291 houses, population 1,251, 1 elementary school, 1 middle school, 1 post office, 1 agricultural cooperative, 1 forestry department lumberyard, 5 shrines, 2 temples, and 1 fishery. So, okay, first of all, impossible. That would never happen. That's crazy. Let me finish reading this real quick. All of these communal, cultural, agricultural areas and places of worship were to be indefinitely submerged at the bottom of the artificial lake basin. Here, let me read that again, because there's some interesting data there. So for one, this is impossible. There's, like, unless I'm insane, this would just never happen. Why would this ever happen? This is crazy. There has to be some kind of ulterior motive for them wanting to destroy Hinamizawa with a dam, along with these other areas, apparently. Another thing that I just think is interesting. So the population of all these areas combined is 1,251. So Hinamizawa alone, yeah, it has to only be a few hundred people at most, which makes sense. Forsaking the hundreds of years our ancestors poured their blood and sweat into this fertile, resource-rich land was just too painful to bear. All the residents having homes that were to be submerged banded together and created the Onikakushi Guardians. Yeah, I mean, you can't blame them. Their houses and towns are going to be destroyed by a dam. That's insane. The dam project was halted, and petitions to alter the plan were circulated. The citizens sought peaceful negotiations, but the government and its puppet company, XXXXX, openly refused. Performing unspeakable, heinous acts, they quashed the democratic actions of the villagers. Unspeakable, heinous... What did they do? But the villagers did not falter. Instead, they banded together even more closely and steeled their resolve to protect their homes to the death. I mean, yeah, literally can't blame them. The continuation of that frightening Hinamizawa Dam construction project is still stalled as of today. Oh, so it's just delayed. It's not even canceled. The villagers understand that the stalling was caused by sublime power through unity, and they understand that this fearsome plan has not yet been fully withdrawn, and also the violence and murder, apparently. The Onikakushi Guardians had been dissolved after it did its part, but the feelings of unity it garnered have not yet been extinguished. So Onikakushi is an interesting word. The title of this chapter is Onikakushi. Oni means demon. I have no idea what Gafuchi means. I'm gonna look that up. I'm just gonna go. I'm not like. I'm just going to Google Translate. Gafuchi. That doesn't really give me anything. Not sure. Demon something, that's for sure. As long as that passion resides in the hearts of the residents, they'll be able to confront whomever next decides to sink their homes into a lake basin. Yeah, I mean, I would too. I would hope so. Onikakushi Guardians Committee Chairman Kichiro Kimiyoshi. Man, it's always... Write that down. Kichiro Kimiyoshi. Onikakushi Guardians Chairman. For some reason, it's double I's in Japanese words. Always mess me up when I'm reading. I don't know why. Special tabloid report. Before that, let me... Okay, so this was all, Okay. Nightmare befalls the Hinamizawa Dam. Lynching and murder/dismemberment. On the X day of X month in XX Prefecture at the Hinamizawa Dam construction worksite in Shishibone. Would it be Shishibone? Shishibone? I don't know. City. A bone-chillingly gruesome murder/dismemberment. Even though this case has shocked the archipelago, the police will give no details on the case. Interesting. Exactly what happened at the Hinamizawa Dam? They probably didn't mean to kill him at first, but as the victim resisted by swinging around a shovel, the rest of the perpetrators armed themselves in return, and it quickly escalated into homicide, and much worse than just homicide. So said the aforementioned Investigator A. After this bloody tragedy was over, they were left with a body which nobody could have mistaken as alive. XX-san had tormented the suspects daily with his rough behavior. So, like, what does that mean, right? If this guy was... Because... I don't know. What does it mean? He tormented them daily with his rough behavior. Because I assume he's someone, I feel like they've said, maybe they haven't said it, but he must be someone involved with the dam construction, right? So was he their boss and these were just workers? Or were they, I assume they were citizens of Hinamizawa that killed him, right? But how would this random guy who is the, who's at, you know, works at the construction site for the dam, how would he torment them daily if they were just random citizens of Hinamizawa who killed him? At first, it was meant to be payback. All the perpetrators were horrified by their deed, and one even turned himself into the police. It was the de facto leader of this group, XX, who suggested hiding the body. Reluctantly at first, they soon began to think they did not wish to be caught. The construction site had numerous places to hide the body with 6 people. They were originally supposed to hide the body and leave the area, but the de facto leader feared that the consciences of the other 5 wouldn't be able to bear the burden, and came up with a horrifying method to keep them from turning him into the police. This story is so weird. The explanation they're giving for this murder, and this thing about a leader of them, all this, it's just, I don't know. There's something weird about it. He devised the heinous method of splitting up the body among them, and making each of them responsible for hiding a piece. XX had turned a simple manslaughter into a gruesome dismemberment and forcibly involved each perpetrator in order to create a sense of unity between them. Interesting. That sense of unity thing that's similar to, you know, what they were saying about the Onikakushi Guardians, right? About how they united together, you know? Each one participated, but what does this mean? Person A spoke out reluctantly. XX had ordered each and every one of them to dissect a piece for themselves. They were hesitant at first, but nobody refused. In for a penny, in for a pound, was what it meant. Thus, an unimaginable, bloody ceremony began. The perpetrators wept and vomited as they performed the gruesome task. I can imagine. There was one person who stubbornly refused, but XX threatened them, saying nothing would change if someone else ended up dead, and he gave up in his objections. Man, I don't know. There's just something weird here, for sure. But XX's plan collapsed in the span of one night. XXX, who had refused to dissect the corpse up until the last moment, had broken down into tears at the hospital where he was being treated for an injury sustained during the scuffle and confessed. The criminals were arrested one after the other, but the de facto leader XX's whereabouts are still unknown. Also, the right arm hidden by XX has yet to be found. Despite an ongoing search, this horrible individual has so far managed to elude law enforcement. What could the police be doing? It appears that XX had said he was going to throw the body, right arm, into the swamp. XX's car was discovered abandoned near the swamp, but there were no clues to his whereabouts. I'll write that down. Main perpetrator car found abandoned. XX didn't trust his companions. One could not deny the possibility that he had expected his companions to confess to the police and used his car as a decoy. Of course, I doubt that theory. Since he has no car, one would expect him to have a limited area to which he could have escaped to. But within the station, there were rumors going around that he had accidentally slipped and drowned in the swamp when he was trying to throw away the body. Okay. Fell in swamp? Question mark? To the locals, that swamp is believed to be bottomless. It's known as Onikakushi, the demon's abyss. Oh, okay. And it's said that the bottom of the swamp is connected to the hellish world of demons. Okay, so that's what Onikakushi means. It's the name of the swamp, the demon's abyss. The atrocious demon from hell that was XX. Could it be that he has returned to hell through the swamp? The Zijin Dragon, bringer of luck and fortune. Prosperous future. Ladies leaping into your arms. Business success. promotions, ambition, protection from harm. Not just with pachinko and horse races, but business and even love. Guaranteed or your money back. Zijin Dragon Bracelet DX, 1 piece. 27,800 yen. Thank you. Man. Well, there's our tips. There's something up. There's something up with this whole story. About... Just something about it's weird. Something, it's just, I don't know. I feel like there's something here I could, like, notice. Some kind of inconsistency or something that I'm, like, picking up on, but I don't know what it is exactly. Because there's something weird going on. I can tell you that much. I just don't, it's just so weird to me. Just the whole way this dismemberment apparently went down is just strange. It's weird that all of their names are censored. I don't know. I'm sure we'll figure it out eventually. Well, that was a good chapter. I really want to continue, but I probably shouldn't. It's pretty late. So yeah, I mean, that was pretty cool. I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment if you want to. I like it. I don't know. I just want people to, if they enjoyed the video, let me know. You know, gives me motivation to continue, I guess. It's, you know, and stories like this are more fun to experience with other people, I guess, you know. So, I don't know. Let me know if you enjoyed. I will see you in the next one.